Give me a second here. I want to make sure I got all my stuff lined up properly. But hey, we are back here in the evening. I'm Phil. This is my channel. I build different 5e role-playing D&D books for view online through the DMsGuild. Give me a second here for me to check my signal here. Sounds like I'm coming through okay. Hey, if you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter. And just give me a few seconds here for me to punch through the Discord channels where I hang out at, and we're going to dive into exploring different subclass options that exist in the WOTC official 5e content for like fighters, rogues, barbarians specifically, and seeing how the kit of how we can build a kit of different martial powers from level 1 to 20 for a character to express those different subclass features of the different, like for example the arcane archer. Instead of playing a arcane archer as a fighter, you can choose the martial champion that we've built for you to play and fake being an arcane archer using the kit of martial powers that we've developed that fighters can take, if that makes sense. If you've been along for the past 30 some odd episodes, you probably already know what all this stuff is. But if you're new to the stream, hey, look right here. This is an image of the book cover I created for a bundle of books that are on the DMsGuild. You can check down the link down below to click through to those. All these books on the DMsGuild are 100% preview. You can read all of them from cover to cover for you to see if it's something that you enjoy. And if you do, certainly please buy it. But if you're not convinced, all the content is there for you to run a 20 level campaign from beginning to end, for you to see how it impacts to how games in 5e are played. And so I offer that as a proof of concept, because here in the description in my Patreon link down below, you can see this is the playtest content that we are currently operating inside of live right now. And over here on DMsGuild, we can take a look at, say, we'll start with fighter. And so what we're going to do here is we have about 150 some odd different powers, be they sustained powers, strike powers, reaction powers, maneuver powers, exploit powers. There's this array of different powers that we've created in this project over the past 40 some odd episodes. Then we have at the top end, we have the specific subclass option for Barbarian. We have the specific fighter class subclass option for fighter, rogue, Barbarian. Since these three classes have a specific subclass that we are gaining access to martial powers through, then it means that you can't take the other subclass options that are available to the class. Like what we've developed with the monk, the ranger, the paladin, as well as access through infusions for the artificer and invocations for the warlock, largely means that these hybrid or off-casting classes have full access to their subclasses, their spell selections. It's just the martial powers that we produce are substitutes that they can use instead of learning a spell. They can learn a martial power instead. But again, with the subclass, with the way that the fighter, ranger, fighter, rogue, and barbarian are structured, the martial power options are expressed as a specific subclass that you take, kind of like the fighter has access to the Eldritch Knight. And when you take Eldritch Knight, you get a very small, limited kit of abilities that you gain, but you also gain access to a list of spells and, of course, a mana resource to cast those spells with. So this is essentially doing the same, and that it's create a martial version of the Eldritch Knight, or a martial version of the Arcane Trickster for Rogue, or creating a similar structure for the Barbarian for you to then purchase martial powers through. Or for the Eldritch Knight or the Arcane Trickster, you could switch up between martial powers and spells that you learn, or you can just throw the Arcane Archer away completely and go with the Martial Trickster class that we've developed here instead. So our goal then, again, is to go into D&D Beyond, take a look at the fighter class. We'll just randomly grab one of the subclass options that are here. We'll see what the subclass offers, and then we'll see what we have here in martial powers that can kind of stack up against it. See if we are properly fulfilling the fantasy of that archetype with the powers that we have present, and during that process, if we notice something that's in these subclasses that's really valuable that we can't express through an existing power, then we can just use that as an opportunity to create another power for us to add to the list of 159 that we have listed here already. So we already know from previous sessions here in the playtest exploration that all the Blood Hunter abilities that we had created, taking the Blood Hunter subclass and then converting all of its different, all of its curses and the subclass options that you get from all the different Blood Hunter options, we have already converted into this power system. And honestly, a lot of the powers that exist already here were extracted from various subclasses that exist in Wizards of the Coast. So there should be some familiar content that we end up bumping into, but I think it'll just be fun for us to try to explore the space. This isn't anything scripted. We're just kind of spilling through the place to see what it is that we run into. I think what we'll do is we'll start with the Barbarian. We'll go to the bottom of. We'll first look at what the Barbarian gains, and then we'll drop down to the bottom of the document and just add in whatever stuff it is that we do. And then we'll go through the fighter, and then we'll go through the rogue the same way. So I'm going to set a timer here. It's 6:15 now. I'm going to set 20-minute timers to hopefully keep moving things forward so we don't get quagmired anywhere we don't intend to. And we'll see how far through this process we get. And by 2 hours and 15 minutes from now, or if we're happy with where we're at, then we'll call it a day, and we'll come back and we'll do DM-facing content next week, which would be adding powers to creatures that you encounter as challenges, or rather that can use the same powers that characters can as a reflection of characters' capabilities in the monsters. So let's see. Base mechanics here. If you're playing a Barbarian, you are a martial. You are martial class. You regain points on a long rest. At first level, you start with 1, and it eventually scales up to 20 points with 20. Each rank of power that you gain requires 1 point per rank, with a maximum rank of 5. So at 17th level, you have access to all 5 ranks of power. You'd have 17 points available to you, and you would learn 14 powers that we can switch out whenever we gain a level to learn completely different powers to replace the ones that we currently know, including feats and damage types and everything else. The die type that we have starts with a D6, scales up to a D8 at 9th level, and then at 17th level it becomes a D10. So that's the core resource and budget of powers that we accumulate over the 20 levels. So the Barbarian specifically, as we've looked at before, you gain the channeling class feature. You gain a point of fury. Every level you gain an additional point. You learn martial powers as early as 1st level if you allow for it, or at worst 3rd level if you want to stay with the subclass progression. Though 1D&D seems that they're putting spellcasting on all classes at 1st level. So we've already compensated for that and offer that option inside of our product now, so it'll be 1D&D ready. Channeling Rage. When you choose the path of martial fury, Rage gains additional benefits. While raging, you cannot maintain concentration if you channel a sustained power while raging. It automatically locks, but you can choose to tap or lock sustained powers as normal when you're not raging. So the way that Barbarians work is you can't maintain concentration while you're raging because they're raging. So the benefit that we've created to get around that loophole is A, channeling isn't spellcasting, and B, you don't have to maintain concentration on things at all if you don't want to. For when you trigger the power, you can choose to lock it, which reduces. We've discussed this in numerous episodes, but if you're new, basically, if you can channel 4 mana at a time, say at 13th level, if you decide to lock 2 of those mana to sustain, say, a 2nd rank sustained power, like, I don't know, Swift Feet or something like that, then you cut off 2 mana. So although you would normally have access to casting 4th level spells, because you've locked 2 of the mana, it drops you down to only being able to use 2 other mana at a time, whether they're strike abilities or sustaining other powers or triggering exploits or reactions. It just reduces your maximum power level because you've locked in those 2 mana so that you don't have to worry about maintaining concentration and losing it. Your character basically gets that ability permanently while they sustain it, and that is how Barbarians work. When they channel something that can be sustained, it just automatically locks and becomes part of their rage process, which is a fun little narrative tool. But beyond that, we also gain Furious Power, which kicks in at 3rd level. Like this channeling rage can start as early as 1st level if your DM allows for martial powers beginning at 1st level. Otherwise, it would clip in at 3rd level along with Furious Power, which is while raging, you add your rage bonus to the DC of any powers that require a saving throw. So just raging makes your powers more difficult to resist. Empowering Wounds at 6th level as a reaction to taking damage on a critical hit, or if you fail a saving throw that deals damage while you're raging, you can recover 1 point of spent fury. So at 6th level, you'd only have 6 fury per day. But as a reaction, anytime you fail a saving throw and take damage or get hit by a crit, you can recover 1 of those 6 points. So you're rewarded for spending your mana, because as you take more damage and soak as the tank for the team, it gives you an opportunity to replenish your resources and then deal more martial power damage, or to use more exploits, or to sustain something new the next time you trigger rage. So continuing to scale up, Brutal Fury at 10th, 13th, and 17th level. When you would gain an additional brutal critical die, you can sacrifice that additional critical die and instead get a free point of temporary mana that you can spend on triggering, on channeling strikes through attacks you make. So instead of gaining extra crit dice, you gain free strike powers to, stun somebody, or to slow them, or to shunt them 15 feet that direction, or to knock them prone, or whatever it is that you decide to use those free points. You get 1 at 10th, you get 2 at 13th, and then 3 points at 17th. So at 17th level, if you crit, you can channel a 3rd rank strike for free. So, and then at 17th level, since your max channel limit is 5, you get 3 points for free, and out of the 17 points you'd have in your pool, you could choose to spend 2 of your own personal supply and have a 5th rank power get triggered as a part of the attack. And of course, martial powers multiply their damage when you crit with them. You're spending mana on the thing, you gain extra crit damage. It's really efficient. And then Destructive Purging at 14th level, which is your capstone for the Path of Raging Fury, is Destructive Purging at 14th level. When you dismiss any power that has been locked while raging, which is any power that any sustained power automatically locks. So this applies to anything that you're sustaining. And so you can dismiss any number of locked powers. You could have up to 5 1-rank powers, 1st rank powers times 5, or 1 5th rank power, or like a 3rd rank power and a 2nd rank power, or a 2nd rank power, 2nd rank power, 1st rank power. Totals up to it would total up to, at 14th level it would be a total of 4, but at 17th level it could cap at 5. So if, say, you dismiss 3 ranks of sustained powers, you deal 1 power die of force damage, and at 14th level we know that you're using a D8, and by 17th level you're using a D10. So if you dismiss 3, it'd be 3d8 force damage. Dismissed 2 creatures within 10 feet. They all make dexterity saves for half damage, and the DC, of course, is 8 plus your channeling stat, which say Constitution, plus your rage bonus, which would be like at 14th levels, plus 3? Maybe it's plus 4? I'm not sure which. And then however many ranks are dismissed, which is 3. So this could be a DC of 8, say 3, 11. Rage bonus is 3, so that's 14. Channeling stat is Constitution of 4. So say you have a 20 at this point, so it'd be 5. So 8 plus 5 plus 3 is 11, 16. Plus ranks, that's 19. So for them to resist this effect, it would be a DC 19. If they fail, they take damage, and they're knocked prone. So Cheers. So that's the basic scaffold for the Barbarian. Next, we're going to go to Barbarian, and we're going to randomly pick Barbarian. There we go. I'll grab some water here real quick since we're talking about it. All right. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my God, there's only 8. All right. Well, let's grab a random die roll. I bet it's gonna be wild magic. I think wild magic would be the most difficult for us to simulate, but I rolled a 1. So that is going to be Path of the Ancestral Guardian. So we're going to skip on down to the Path of the Ancestral Guardian. We are going to then go to our document here. First thing, I think the way for us to organize is to drop down to the very bottom here where we have our basically extend. Like here's a few of the new powers that we've been developing down here: reactions, sustained powers, maneuvers, exploits. Again, if you check in the description down below, if you click through on the Patreon link, it'll lead you right to this document. You can read along with me here now if you're with me. Otherwise, this is open playtest content. This is fully stacked out from level 1 to 20. At my home table, we're using level 17 right now. We just had to do a major change to how sustained powers work with the locking mechanism because the feedback we've been getting from our homebrew table is that it's just too complicated. So we had to simplify the whole thing, which was an amazing experience. You can check episode 39 that ran before this a few days ago, and you'll see us going through that conversion process, which was super fun. So we're just going to go down here to the end. We're going to look at, let's just build this out. We go Barbarian sample, subclass, conversion, Ancestral Guardian. So let's see what the Ancestral Guardian gives to us, shall we? So Ancestral Protector, Spirit. I'm just going to cut paste all this stuff and just steal it. We're not going to keep it, but we need to see it for sampling. So let's see what this stuff does for us. Actually, let's undo that. Let's just open a notepad here real quick. Let's drop that in there. No. Yeah. Select all, copy, and now paste. That'll do us. Okay, great. So let's break these things down and see how they actually work to see what it is that we're getting into. I'm going to hit this with a bold, and then we're going to upsize there. We're going to hit Ancestral Protectors here, Spirit Shield here, Consult the Spirits here, and then Vengeful Ancestors here. So something I want to point out specifically about how this stuff is kind of rolling is that for the Rogue, the Fighter, and the Barbarian specifically, when we built the subclasses, you can see that all these class features that we're building are basically curving into you can channel power, and it's manipulating the mana or the powers that you gain through the general martial power chassis that's being expressed through the Barbarian. The Furious Power just increases the DC of your channeling saving throws or your power saving throws, and Empowered Wounds is a restore mechanic for your Fury points. Brutal Fury is giving you an alternative to crit damage on your die rolls to instead use a martial power strike power during the crit instead of the Brutal Fury itself. And then Destructive Purging is dealing an AoE for dismissing your powers. So you're not actually, none of these class features are actually giving you a unique flavor for your character. It's giving you mechanics to manipulate all of the martial powers that you can learn. So actually your character's style and your unique expression of what that character is, their power fantasy as it were, is being directly translated through the martial powers that you actually learn. And there's, again, about 159 of them, plus a bunch of feats that we can learn as our 15 powers over from level 1 to 20. So let's go down here to power conversion. Highlight that and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So these are the 15 powers that we learned. Let's jump back up here. Let's see, at 3rd level we have 4 powers. Third level is there, and then what's the next breaking point? Was it 6? 6th level. There you go. And then the 6th level for us here would be 7 powers. So and we have what, 10th level? Consult the spirits at 10th. And at 10th level for us, we have acquired 10 powers at 10th level. And then what, at 14th we'll have 12? Yeah. We're gonna do it like this. So we're almost there. Spirit shield. Tenth level is spirits. Yeah, I have no idea how successful this venture is going to be at all. I mean, I'm just going to fall on my face. It'll be dumb. Who knows? Fourteen's at 12, right? 12. Nice. Okay, cool. 15. All right, so let's spool down here to the actual powers themselves. Okay, great. So what are we doing? What we're going to do is by 3rd level, we want to have powers that are going to duplicate whatever this Ancestral Protectors thing is. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 powers that we can learn to duplicate the Ancestral Protectors option. And then the 6th level Spirit Shield. We have 1, 2, 3 powers to also learn, or we can swap out up to 9 powers to hit the flavor mark of the Spirit Shield by the time, well, from 6th level to 10th level, we're basically trying to hit it. At 10th level, Consult the Spirits, we have 10 and 11, so we have another 2 or up to 11 that we need to be able to hit to curve into Consult the Spirits, Spirit Shield, and Ancestral Protectors. And then Vengeful Ancestors, we have a total of 15 powers that we can use, 4 for Vengeful Ancestors or 15 for all 4 class features across the board. And as we gain higher levels of Barbarian, we'll have access to different powers. So initially down here, we're only going to have access to 5th level. Let's go back up here to 5th level, 6, 7. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna have access to up to 2nd rank powers because of 1st level and 5th level. And then this is gonna curve into from 2nd into 3rd level. And then this will curve in from 3rd into 4th level, and then this will be 1st through 5th level that we can acquire things through. So we'll go through the process and you'll see how it works. So without any further ado, we are now looking at how, actually, I have one more ado there, power conversion. We're gonna do it like that. And then power conversion, and then power conversion, and then power. Okay, great, that's enough setup. So let's see how this actually goes. So we have Ancestral Protectors. Starting when you choose this path at 3rd level, Spectral Warriors appear when you enter your rage. While you're raging, the first creature you hit with an attack on your turn becomes the target of the warriors, which hinders its attacks. Until the start of your next turn, that target has disadvantage. So we have Maneuver. Let's see. We're not even going to simplify it like that. We're going to do cause target creature to have disadvantage on attacks not against you. Let's see. Give ally resistance to damage from targeted creature attack. Anything else? And when your target hits a creature other than if you attack, that creature has resistance to the damage dealt by the attack. The effect on the target ends early if your rage ends. Okay, cool. So we have 6 powers to be able to build into cause. So this is a Ancestral Protector. This is a this is basically every turn as a sustained power. So let's see what exists as martial powers already that we can look at. So let's scroll down here to the, let's see, first rank sustained powers. Let's see if there's anything that currently exists that coincide with causing disadvantage to a target creature or giving an ally resistance to damage. I don't think we have something that does either one of those things. All right, timely timer, 20 minutes. Going to keep it going. Another 20 minutes on the block. Thank you, timely timer. Crouching stance. Channels power, you gain abilities. You can crawl. Attack rolls made against you. No. Power armor. No. Shield. No. Quick assessment. Ranged assault. Rogue stance. When you use a bonus action to dash, disengage, or dodge, you gain advantage on dexterity. Nah. Let's see. Bloodhunter to the rescue, perhaps. Dire impact. While sustaining this power, weapon attacks are magic, and you can add elemental resistance. You challenge power you gain. Choose one type of damage. Intelligent. Lycanthrope. Bright of Dawn. Sustains pain. Shed bright light. Strong. While sustaining this power, gain advantage. Wise. While sustaining this power, gain advantage. Cloud Stride is flight. Relentless. Gain advantage on strength and stuff. Perception. Trap Springer. Vigilance. While this power is sustained, any creature that begins its turn or enters your melee reach during its turn takes 1 power die of damage for each mana sustained vigilance. Nope. Let's see. Castigation. When you channel this power, choose a creature you can see. You always know which direction the chosen creature is while it remains on the same plane of existence as you. In addition, when you make a melee attack against the chosen creature, deal 1 additional power die of damage. Not so much. Let's see. Omnilinguist. Regeneration, strange metabolism, unnatural resistance. When you channel this power, choose a damage type. Weapon resistance. You don't need that because you have that from Rage already. Eesh. Okay, so we don't have anything that will directly sustain an effect like that. But let's go down and look at exploits. Opportunity attack with advantage. Charge, Cliff Runner, commanding presence. When making an ability check and intimidate performance and nutrition, add a power die. Field music, flash of insights. Ability check, if underground fighting, inquisitive, burglar, move as 1, natural hunter, resilient, saving throw, roll advantage, swift tools, tactical. When making an ability check that can use the history, insight, or investigation skill, add 1 power die per mana, adding the highest results. No. Unnerving focus, cooperative efforts. When you use a help action to grant advantage to the attack ability of 30 feet, roll a power die for mana channeled. Adding the highest result to the ally's roll. No. Fast feet, phase attack, precise attack. Come on, man. Where is it? Cooperative effort. Fast feet, phase. Tactical, assassin, swift, sage, resilient, proselytizer, natural hunter. Move is 1. Ground fighting, flash of insight, field medic, far shot, commanding presence, charge, anticipate. No. Cooperative. Let's see what Bloodhunter's got. Oof. Maneuvers, bonus attack, coordinated. Here we go. Distract. Target creature you can see within 30 feet makes a cruising saving throw. Fail equals no reaction until end of turn. Flatten. Mobility. Swift resuscitation. Overrun. Bonus attack. Coordinated attack. You can empower a target ally within 30 feet to use a reaction to gain an attack. Nope, that's not it. Swift resuscitation. Repelling shockwave. Restrain hold. Oh, reactions. That's probably where it's going to be at. As a reaction to when you or an adjacent ally are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see, the attack is re-rolled, taking the new result. This re-roll can't score a critical hit. So we can take deflection, reaction 1. Deflection. Let's see. Just damage in the area of effect. Interpose. As a reaction to when an adjacent ally makes a save to reduce damage within an area of effect, the ally gains advantage on the saving throw and resistance. Ooh, both of these work. Intercept and interpose. Intercept. As a reaction to when an adjacent ally is hit, you can take the damage instead and gain resistance to the attack. That's pretty good. Intercept. Jason hits, you take the damage. Ally, gain resistance. Useful. Reaction 1. This is interpose. Ally gains ADD to save an AOE and is resistant to damage. See if there's anything else in here. Looks good. Parry. As a reaction to when you take damage from a melee weapon attack, you can see you can reduce the damage taken by a power die per mana channel. That's pretty cool. Riposte. As a reaction to an enemy you can see within range of your melee attack misses an attack roll against you, you can make an attack adding your power die. Okay. Curse Respite. As a reaction to when a character you can see within 30 feet makes an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can curse them to reroll at disadvantage and use the new lower roll. Target, TK barrier. Let's see if the Bloodhunter offers anything fun. As a reaction to a creature taking damage, if the creature is resistant to the damage, it can't benefit from resistance this round. Reaction, Curse of the Fallen Puppet, Anchor, Rite of Revival. Critting strike, flaming strike, phasing strike, goading strike. Ooh, goading strike. Goading strike. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burn. The creature you strike has disadvantage on any attack made that doesn't target you. The creature can attempt to end this effect at the beginning of each of its turns by succeeding an intelligence saving throw. Goading Strike's really useful. So strike 1, Goading Strike. Strike 1. That's actually probably the best one, but we got all this other stuff too. So far, strike 1, Goading Strike is the best representation that we have. It's a pretty good one. Side, blinding, revealing, shocking, thundering, tripping, blah. I'd say that's probably the best one we have so far. And we're back into sustain. So there we go. So we have these 4 options. Deflect, reroll, attack, no crit. You can take a hit for an ally, gain resistance. So we can start off with these things, and we can now take 5 and 6 and float them up to here. And this is when you gain second rank powers anyway, so that actually works out really nicely. And let's continue. All right, what does this one do? Spirit Shield. Beginning at 6th level, the guardian spirits that aid you can provide supernatural protection to those you defend. If you are raging and another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 2d6. To save an AoE. If you are raging and another creature you can see takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 2d6. When you reach certain levels in this class, you can reduce, I think that's riposte. Let's check that out as a reaction. Hold on. Blinding Strike. Reaction is what we're looking for. Thank you. Hexproof, indestructible, countering attack. As a reaction to an enemy within range casts a spell. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Riposte. As a reaction to an enemy you can see within range of your melee attack, misses an attack roll against you. 1 power die to the attack roll. Equip Parry. As a reaction to when you take damage from a melee attack you can see, you can reduce the taken damage. As a reaction to when you take or an adjacent ally takes damage from a melee attack you can see. As a reaction to when you or an adjacent ally takes damage. I feel like that's what interpose or interject would be. Interpose as a reaction. Interject as a reaction to when an ally is hit. You can take the damage instead and gain resistance to the attack. That is significantly different. I like that. Parry as a reaction to when you or an adjacent ally takes damage from a melee weapon attack you can see. You can reduce the damage taken by 1 power die per mana channel. Perfect. Parry. Parry. There we go. Action 1. Parry. I see I could be doing this differently. Let's go to reaction, deflection. Just going to do this better. Intercept. Go down to strike. Go down to goading strike. There it is. Perfect. Third level, 6th level, 10th level, 14th level. Is that all we needed? If you are raging at another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 2d6. It eventually goes up to 3d6, and then at most at 14th level goes up to 46. By 17th level, we can put in 5 power dice. So when we use parry, we can potentially reduce the damage that you or an ally takes as a reaction by up to 5d10 worth of damage, up to potentially 50 damage. So while it is a at will or a per round reaction that you can use with Spirit Shield as the Ancestral Guardian, up to 24 damage at 14th level, we can drastically outscale that at the cost of 1 point per use of doing so. But again, you can take damage or be targeted by a saving throw, and if you are, then you can regain power points. So you know what? That makes a really great point, in that I want to go back up here and look at that Barbarian language to see how that is working for us. I want to make sure it's not a bag of rats, and it feels like it's a bag of rats. Hold on. Empowering wounds at 6th level is a reaction to taking damage on a critical hit or failing a saving throw that deals damage. While raging, you can recover 1 spent fury to your max fury limit. Saving throw is a reaction to taking damage on a critical hit or failing or when failing a saving throw originating. Let's see, how do we want to work that? Take damage as a critical hit, which is limited by the die roll that you're going to get. As a reaction to taking damage on a critical hit, or when a hostile creature hostile. God, if we have the 6E magic actions, when you're targeted by a hostile creature with a magic action that results in you taking damage, that would be super smooth language for one D&D. Actually, really looking for that mechanical change. Man, if 6E comes out as smoothly as it feels like it is, it's actually going to be a great mechanical improvement over what we actually have in 5E. The real question then, of course, becomes what's the licensing issues available for us to actually play in that sandbox. But I like the cut of that jib a lot, so we'll see how that shapes up. But for now, we gotta stay true to 5E. So at 6th level, as a reaction to taking damage on a critical hit, which you can't control, but so you're going to end up taking a shitload of damage as a result of this, and probably netting. So 1 point of fury is equal to 1 level of spell. So if an ally targets you with a hostile spell, the problem that we have is that cantrips don't cost any resources, but do require saving throws that you can fail and take damage from. So there is a bag of rat effects there that we have to resolve. So the best way to resolve that is when a hostile creature causes you. When a hostile creature deals damage to you, when a hostile creature causes an area of effect that deals damage, when a hostile creature causes A hostile creature deals damage to you in an area of effect. Yeah, so at 6th level, as a reaction to taking damage on a critical hit, or when a hostile creature deals damage to you within an area of effect, you can recover 1 spent fury up to your max fury limit within an area of effect. So it's not a single target spell; it has to be an AOE. Deals damage to you within an area of effect. You can recover. Okay, great. That sounds a lot cleaner. So, blah. Any spell that you're going to cast that has an AoE damage effect, it is going to be a that might not be true. Hold on, let's check Booming Blade real quick. Let's see how Booming Blade works to see if it's broken. Oh, but it has to be a hostile creature. Still worth checking though. Hold on, let's do the math. It might be his Green Blade. Area, self, area, 5 feet. You brandish a weapon using the spell's casting and make a melee attack with it against one creature within 5 feet of you. On hit, the target suffers the weapon's attack. And they then become sheathed. You have to hit them, and then you deal damage. But if it's an ally that does it, it's not a hostile creature. So another 20 minutes on the board. Okay, I think that covers it. I think that is sufficient. Deflection as a reaction to when you or an innocent ally are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see. The attack is rerolled, taking the new result. That's ancestors getting in the way. The reroll can't score a critical hit. Reaction, intercept. As a reaction to when an adjacent ally is hit, you can take the damage instead and gain resistance to the attack. We don't necessarily need intercept, but I think it's good flavor to go along with the Spirit Guardian idea. Interpose as a reaction to when an adjacent ally makes a save to reduce damage within an AoE. The ally gains advantage on the saving throw and resistance to the damage, and I think that's freaking fantastic for a point. Strike, Goading Strike, weapon increases by 1 power die of damage per mana burned. The creature you strike has disadvantage on any attacks made that doesn't target you. The creature can attempt to end this effect at the beginning of each of its turns by succeeding an intelligence saving throw. So that's pretty damn good. That's a smite. That's a smite effect that has no end duration other than if it can succeed an intelligence saving throw. So I think that does a decent job. The power here for the Spirit Shield, that is literally just 1 power. So let's just keep stacking these things up. See how far we can get. Consult the spirits. At 10th level, you gain the ability to consult with your ancestral spirits. When you do so, you cast the Augury or Clairvoyance spell without using a spell slot or material components. Rather than creating a spherical sensor, this use of Clairvoyance invisibly summons one of your ancestral spirits. Location. Wisdom is your spellcasting ability for these spells. So that is basically scry. So do we have anything that simulates scry? I want to say no, but my heart wants to say yes. So we'll see how this shit lands. Hold on real fast. It could be a maneuver. This would be a fun maneuver to just create. Take a bubble, paralyze, sleeper hold, breathe axiom, curse the eyeless, healing, curse, wave. Blind sense doesn't cover it. Crouching stance. Scry. Huh. I'm looking. Hold on. I'm looking. Castigation, rejuvenation, strange metabolism, unnatural resistance, weapon resistance, daunting presence. Oh, that's a stain. Nice. Daunting presence, third is actually freaking good. Scry, huh? Oh man, we don't. Huh. Do we though? Do we want to do that? It's very magic-y magic. Very magic-y magic. I don't know if I necessarily want that. Do we want to have a remote sensor ability, like an arcane eye sort of effect? A sight beyond sight sort of thing? Is that something we value? Let's look at Scry real quick just to see what we get. Just to see what we get. Scrying spell. You can see here a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you. The target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target and the sort of physical connection you have to it. If a target knows you're casting... Am I on screen? Yes, I am. Excuse me. If a target knows you're casting a spell, it can fail the saving throw voluntarily if it wants to be observed. On a successful save, the target isn't affected, and you can't use the spell again for 24 hours. On a failed save, the spell creates an invisible sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can see and hear through it. 10 minutes requires concentration. Instead of targeting a creature, you can choose a location you have seen before as the target of the spell. When you do, the sensor appears at the location and doesn't move. If I make it a sustained effect, it can be locked. It can be done perpetually. If I set it up as a maneuver, if it were a third-ranked power, they put it at a DC 13. If it was intelligence-based, even at 20th level, with capped out intelligence as one of these classes is unlikely, but it could be done. So that'd still be an 11, which means you'd be able to succeed on a check of 2 or above. So a one would eventually fail, which is as intended. So. Really arguing with myself whether or not I want to add in a magical sensor sort of thing. That's starting to sprawl further away from core content mechanics than what I like. But I'd be lying if I didn't say this is part of a process that I was looking to develop for, like, say, a House Demir kit of powers, or like what's the spy house in Eberron with their dragon mark, like building out a kit of unique powers to complement Demir or the dragon mark spy house. Those would both be super fun to do. It isn't necessarily built in. I could do an arcane eye. Excuse me. An arcane eye isn't wrong. Hold on. Let's do that mark that we saw before. I think it's a maneuver. I think it is a blood hunter maneuver. So let's go hunt for that. Hold on. I do believe it's a maneuver. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Shockwave, Strain Hold, DMsGuild. Well, crap, we gotta pick up Goad. That's a really good one. Maneuver, Goad, 2. I'm gonna replace this with Goad, which is maneuver 2. Not bad. Spirit shield's okay. Consult the spirits. Hold on. I know we have something in here. Hold on. It's tracking somebody. It's that tracking ability. Where is it? Maybe it's an exploit. Hold on. Let's go find that. Training presence, extended far shot, field, flash, master, natural hunter, proselytize. Oh no, it's a sustained. It should be sustained 1. Sorry, we're hunting all over the place. There's a lot of options, so we're hunting for stuff. Hold on. Where is it? Trap Springer, Vigilant, Castigate. You always know which direction the chosen creature is while it remains on the same plane of existence as you. In addition, when you make a melee attack against the chosen creature, you deal 1 additional power die of damage. Castigation fits the bill. It's a little off. Is this Jesus, a sustained power? That's great. Sustain 2. Castigation. When you channel this power, choose a creature you can see. You always know which direction the chosen creature is while it remains on the same plane of existence as you. In addition, when you make a melee attack, so you can always track something. Boy, oh boy, I really kind of want to add it's not really a flavor hit, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna go down here real quick. Let's just skip past that for now, and get into the rest of these. My God, we've only eaten up half our power budget so far. We only have one miss so far. So let's see. At 14th level, your ancestral spirits grew powerful enough to retaliate. When you use your spirit shield to reduce the damage of an attack, the attacker takes an amount of force damage equal to the damage that your spirit shield prevents. So that's an easy fix. Hold on. We got one for this. I know we got one for this. Maybe a disadvantage. Hold on. How's that go? Hold on. It takes damage. I know we have something that causes damage. Is it vigilance? I think it's vigilance. Hold on. While this power sustains, any creature that begins its turn or enters your melee reach during its turn takes 1 power die of damage per mana, sustaining vigilance. Holy crap. While the power is sustained, any creature that begins its turn or enters your melee reach during its turn takes 1 power die of weapon damage for each mana sustaining vigilance. While this power is sustained, takes 1 power die of weapon damage for each mana sustaining vigilance. So it's a d6 at first. While this power is sustained, any creature that begins its turn enters within 5 feet of you for per point for each. Let's make it 10 feet. Then 10 feet. Any creature you don't identify, any creature you can see, any hostile creature that Any hostile creature you can see that begins its turn or enters within 10 feet of you, while this power is sustained, any hostile creature you can see that begins its turn or enters within 10 feet of you takes 1 power die of weapon damage of you, takes 1 power die of weapon damage for each mana sustaining vigilance. Perfect. That is actually freaking sweet. Paste. So vigilance does the job, dude. Your assistants grow powerful enough to retaliate. When you use your spirit shield to reduce the damage of an attack, the attacker takes an amount of force damage equal to the damage that your spirit shield prevents. And vigilance, equal to the damage that your spirit shield prevents, right. This triggers off of spirit shield above. This is a separate thing. It's just a sustained passive for as much as you want. And it leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 powers open for us to do whatever we want with. So that's all this thing really takes for us to be able to pull it off. We can pull off the only thing that we're really missing any flavor for is the consult the spirits, which I don't think we technically need. Castigate. She's a creature you can see, you always know the direction. I love the idea. Of consult the spirits being something that would be folded in as martial power, but I don't think it's as a core product. I think it's a little bit too far into the psionic, psychic, diviner, school of magic sort of theme that I don't want to have in this core product, that I want to do as an extension at another product. Like I said, Demir and whatever the Dragonmark House of Stealth is. I think that'd be a place for that. Not necessarily in the core book, though I could be wrong. So consult the spirits, 10th level. After you when you cast either spell this way. What spells? Augury or Clairvoyance. You can't use this feature again until after you cast either spell in this way. You can't use this feature again until you finish a short or long rest. So we'll have to call that scrub. So we're working with the spirit thing. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left over. Remnant powers. So none of these powers are as sustainable as Ancestral Guardians is, but most of what Ancestral Guardians does, we can simulate using these powers. So it's just a matter of flavoring them. Oh yeah, and then we need to pick up some power damage. Hold on. We want to go into let's go into a damage type. Psychic and Force, I think, are fun. Does feel pretty good. What other tasty treats do we got going on inside here? Sentinel's pretty good. Oh, telekinetic's kind of fun. Maybe there's some. Let's see what other cool stuff is hanging around down here that you might want to pick up instead. Yeah, you know, maybe we don't necessarily have to take feats. We don't necessarily have to take force damage either, but it's nice to have it. Let's see what other high-end fruit we can pick at once we get to level 13 plus. Master of Fate, Pervious. Frenzy's always a good idea. Let's scrap that. Sustained. Frenzy's pretty damn good. But then there's also the new things that we're playing with. Let's get down to that action. Where is it? Reactive combat isn't bad. Ooh. There. Sting 2, reactive combat. Period. And then we can buy it down. Hold on. Let's get to it. Hold on. Check this out. Where is it? Hold on. Oh, yeah, it's below the damage types. Meta power feat. Practice discipline. Alright, so now if we take the meta power feat for reactive combat drops from being 2 mana to sustain down to 1 mana to sustain. And we could also take, actually reducing frenzy is probably more valuable than that. Practice discipline and We can go with active combat. And then frenzy. So that buys frenzy down to 3 from 4, and reactive combat from 2 to 1. So you can sustain both frenzy and reactive combat with these, as well as still have points open for you to do strikes and other reaction effects that we have. So not bad, because both both reactive combat and frenzy would have to lock while you're raging, but that still leaves a point open for you to use other stuff. So what other stuff would we actually need while sustaining this power? Attack rolls against you are made with disadvantage. Not bad. Goad. I'm gonna do like that. We can just pick up Sentinels of Feet elsewhere, so that's hardly necessary. So that means that we can buy down other stuff. We don't necessarily need to buy down Castigate, Reaction, 1 Parry, Daunting Presence, 3 Goad. Buying down Goad would be nice. All right, let's buy down Goad. Let's make that cheap. Goad. Goad. Where did it go? Where did it go, Goad? Goad. We buy down both 4 and 2 down to 1. We don't actually have to buy up Goad. But we can buy down Daunting Presence. Nice, let's do that. Instead of Goad, let's go Daunting Presence. Hold on. Wow, I still have 1 left over. So, oh boy. That buys down a lot of cheapness. We have Goading Strike as our only strike so far. And Psychic Damage makes a lot of sense just to have that. So what are we willing to give up? Four to 3. Oof. Yeah, that all makes sense. So I'm good with that. Reactive combat, that's great. Goad, that's great. What's the other? We just need 1 more strike in here, I think. I think that'll make it good. So what strike do we want to grab? Oh, jeez, large is good. God, giant growth is a great idea. Where are you hiding? God, giant growth is pretty fucking good. Oh, God, there's so many good stuff. Daunting Presence, giant growth. Ah, jeez, giant growth would be nice. I don't think we need it, though. 2x2, God, that's so nice. We're gonna skip that. Hold on, let's just skip that for now and see what else we can get into. Sustain. We need another strike, so let's do that. Overwhelming strike. Creature's resistance to the attack. It loses that resistance. Overwhelming strike's pretty fucking good, but it's also really expensive. Radiant damage. Glows with faint light regarding the invisibility of concealment. Must make a wisdom saving throw or any illusion or shape change effects targeting the hit creature in. Provoking strike. You can deal psychic damage and add 1 power die mana burn. The creature can only attack you until it loses line of sight with you, or you are incapacitated. The creature can end this effect early. That's provoking strike. How's that different from goading strike? Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burn. The creature you strike has disadvantage on any attack made that doesn't target you. The creature can attempt to end this effect at the beginning of each turn. Provoking attack can deal psychic damage and add 1 power die per mana burned. The creature can only attack you until it loses line of sight of you, or you are incapacitated. Early. Actually, I feel like we should shift Provoking Strike to 2nd rank. I love doing this stuff. Oh, that is 2nd rank. Which is better than go. Okay, great. So Provoking Strike. That's our last bit. Period. Pop. And we can swap out Goading Strike for Provoking Strike once we have access to it. That works. Hot daggity. Okay, well, hey, that's our Barbarian build. So, and it's 7:30 now, so we got a little bit more time to play. You have access to this document. You can check down the Patreon down below. Go ahead and, if you want, pick and choose for yourself. What 15 powers and or a combination of skills would you choose from this playtest document to create a Ancestral Spirits, Ancestral Guardian subclass of Barbarian yourself that's different from this? So that's, yeah, you know what? I think I'm pretty content with how this process went. We'll go ahead and cut stream here. We don't have a lot of people hanging out with us today, so I think we can afford to elegantly step away from where we're at, but taking our time. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So that is, yeah, go ahead and if you have a different build that you think would work better for this for the Ancestral Guardian remake, please list them out. You got 15 to choose from between the feats, the power damage types, and the various 159 different powers that we have listed here. If you think there's a more interesting way that you can achieve the Ancestral Guardian paradigm or motif with a different kit of powers, please, by all means, post them here and let's take a look at them. If you know where I'm at on Twitter, you can follow me there, or you can, if you know where I'm at on Discord, catch me there. But this was fun, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this here, and I'll probably come back and do this another day. Maybe we'll do some of this on Thursday night. But I'm going to go ahead and cut stream here, so like and subscribe. Check out the rest of the playlist for the martial powers to see how this is all fleshed out over time, the changes that we've been making in the living document as we continue to get more feedback from playtesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again. So thanks so much. You have a great day. Where's my off button? Here we go.